I want to, excuse me, I want to take a little opportunity here to kind of, I've looked ahead at some data here for the system toward the end of the week, and not just for central Indiana's purposes, but for people in the south and southeast. And I've noticed a few caveats here. What I have noticed, this is the dew point map about early Wednesday going into Wednesday afternoon. And you ask, well, this is more like a Thursday, maybe even Friday, either Saturday type deal. What are you looking at here? Well, what I'm looking at here is I want to see how scoured out the Gulf is the days before the event, and to see if we got anything coming up in terms of moisture return ahead of the next system. And here's the euro, and as you can see here, dew points are in the 50s. There's some 60s over the Gulf, which is not totally uncommon, of course, this time of the year. You can see much lower values there in the Florida Panhandle because we'll have a frontal passage. But notice we've got dews even in the 40s, pretty far to the north. And if you go to the GFS, you see a little more aggressive with the 60 and even 65-degree dew points there in the Gulf, something to be monitored. And then over here's the NAM itself, also showing kind of that narrow ribbon of moisture return. So there's some evidence, at least some scant moisture return, maybe coming ahead of the system. So let's go back to the euro and let's take a look and see how it progresses over the next several days. As you can see here, some pretty decent moisture return, particularly along the Gulf Coast. There's your 60s dew points, but even dew points getting out near 50 all the way to Indianapolis, which in February is pretty high. So we are dealing with a dynamic storm system here, and as I've showed in other videos, there is an area of steep mid-level ice rates and some instability present as well. But the storms may have some trouble becoming surface-based because of the scant moisture that we do have. But it is notable, and it may help to creep at least the elevated instability enough to where we could have a few thunderstorms even all the way up into Illinois and Indiana, perhaps even Ohio, as we go in. And this is, now we're getting into Friday, and then the front passes later on Friday afternoon. So kind of that Thursday, Friday time frame there, and then the Gulf, then it closes out, and we go back under some drier conditions and probably some cooler conditions as well. Temperature's going to be pushing 60 degrees by the end of this week too, by the way. And if you take a look at it from a dynamics standpoint, there's the one that's causing the scouring right now. That system, it's actually caused some isolated severe weather across Florida today. And see, that's going to go across the Gulf, but then you're going to have this moisture return here ahead of this trough right here. See, it's kind of a, I think it's that trough that's causing all the cows in California. And a wind gust in Bakersfield reported over 100 miles an hour from this monstrous storm. Comes in kind of a little bit of a positive, goes into a neutral tilt, and as it ejects into the plains, comes kind of more of a broad type storm system. So it's not really it's not as compact. So the dynamics will kind of be spread. Some pretty strong dynamics there into Texas. And so I'm guessing probably somewhere along this portion down here, with the ample instability can come north of particularly those 60s dew points. There could be some severe weather down there. But as you can see, do have kind of a negatively tilted trough. Great dynamics over us. Again, it's just the nature of the rain and embedded thunderstorms. It's probably going to be elevated in nature. So I don't see severe weather this far north, but maybe some thunder. Like I said, then it passes, the front passes, things get a little cooler. And then we have another system we're going to be watching too. And this one right here, I've seen several different looks. This is more compact. And this one could also be kind of a severe weather maker for the southeast. And then it will eject north as well. And depending on the exact track of this thing, there could be a wintry side to this thing as well. We're going to, some models even showed a snowstorm over Indianapolis for around Valentine's Day. But we'll have more time to sort that out with future model runs, because it's not, the Euro and GFS are not agreeing on that solution right now. But something to watch.